Hi, and welcome back to another crochet vlog. I have so many things to share with you, so we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. But for starters, I actually went to my very first yarn store in person, which is pretty hard to believe considering I've been crocheting for so long now. And honestly, I didn't know there were any yarn stores in my area because every time I've ever looked it up, I never found anything. And then I realized there's one about 30 minutes away from my house. If you're local to Southern California, this is in San Clemente. And as soon as I found this place, I fought traffic, I fought no parking. I knew I had to get into this place, and it is so magical inside. So I was just there this morning, and I can include the address in the description if you want to check it out. It's called Strands Knitting Co. And they had so much fun stuff. So you know I had to get a bunch of stuff. And honestly, I got way more than I intended to. So I just want to show it to you really quick. So as you might already know, I love to knit socks. So I was in there looking specifically for sock yarn, and I just found so many cool things. So the first thing that caught my eye was this, and it is just so cool to me. So it's got gray and then sort of like this neon gradient of purple, yellow, pink, and blue. And what's really cool about this yarn is that when you work it up, it'll be striped with gray and blue and pink and purple, but the gradient will sort of like look like an ombre effect almost going through. It's hard to explain, but I'm sure you'll see me make a pair of socks with these very soon. So I'm really excited to try this one out, and I know it's going to turn out looking really cool. I'm also hoping to make a few pairs of socks for some family members this year for Christmas, so I definitely want to use those for a pair, someone I have in mind. So we're gonna have to see if I actually get around to that, who knows. But this next one I also thought was really cool. This is Earth Yarns, and this is a merino wool, I believe, but I think this is so cool. I saw it worked up in a swatch inside of the store, and it is just beautiful. I love all these colors, and usually this is not the sort of thing I go for, which is why I decided to get it today. I just thought it was really vibrant and pretty. And then I also got this yarn from Cascade Yarns, I believe, and I plan on making a beanie with this. And the structure of it is just so interesting. I don't even know what you would call this, but it's super cool and like bouncy. I really don't know. I'm probably not explaining it very well, but it's really just so pretty. So those are the 3 skeins of yarn that I got, and I do have to wind those up pretty soon here. I also did get a set of needles so that I can make a beanie with this. As much as I love knitting socks, I'm still so clueless about everything related to knitting. So I asked the really nice lady who worked there what size needles I would need to make a beanie, and she recommended using 9mm needles with the 32 circular, I don't even know what you call that, something. I'm still pretty clueless about knitting, but now I have these so that I can make a beanie with this. So I'm really excited about all of these things, and I also got a really cute little bag to keep everything in, which is going to be handy because I want to cake all these yarns up so that they're ready for my drive to Illinois. If you don't know already, I'm going to be moving in just about 2 months, and I want to make sure I have all sorts of things to knit on the way out because it's just so fun, and I'm really excited for it. So that's my little yarn haul from this morning, and I really just enjoyed going out and getting to see yarn in person. I feel like I'm always buying it online, and it was just really cool to be somewhere with a bunch of other people who knit and crochet and get to look at yarn together. Unfortunately, a pretty rare experience for me, so I definitely recommend checking them out though if you are local to Southern California, because they have all sorts of knitting and crochet classes, which I think is just so cool. I love that so much, so I'm very excited about that. But we do have quite the agenda today. There are a lot of things I'm wanting to get done around here. For starters, I have a ton of plushies that I have not listed on my website, and I need to just go ahead and go through all the ones that I want to sell and get them up on my site because, like I mentioned, I'm going to be moving pretty soon, and I pretty much have 2 buckets filled with plushies that I've made over the past few months. So I really need to start listing those so that if people want to buy them in time for the holidays, they have the option to. So we're going to do that today. And then I also had something really cool sent to me in the mail. This is from Caydo. It's an electric yarn winder, and I have already tried this, spoiler alert. It is probably my new favorite crochet knit gadget of all time, because if you don't know, when you get hanks of yarn like this, you have to wind them manually, and it really can wear on your shoulder if you knit and crochet as much as I do. So I was really excited to get this in the mail, and they kindly gifted it to me. They also sent me a code that you can use to get a discounted one. I'll keep it linked in the description if you want to try it out, but I'm gonna turn you around and show you what this thing looks like. And I figure one of the things that we can get done today is cake up some of my chenille yarn as well, because I'm really just trying to get everything organized and ready for the move. And also a lot of it is getting tangled, and it would be really nice to just use this to clean things up. And I'll also show you how it works. Okay, so here's the yarn winder, and it does look pretty similar to just a normal yarn winder, but there are a few differences. For starters, you feed the yarn through this contraption here, and I really like this because with a traditional yarn winder, sometimes the little bobbin thing starts to fall over, and this way it doesn't. It stays so nicely inside of here, and you really can just let this thing go and not even think about it. It's truly magical. And then you also have this little wire. It's a USB cord that you plug in so that you can get it working. You attach it to any surface like this, and then you just simply turn it on. Obviously it's not on right now, but I figured we should try this with some chenille yarn because I've only used my sock weight yarn so far. And let me tell you, when I used my sock weight yarn with this, it was so amazing. I truly just let this thing go, and I was able to sit back and actually knit another project of mine while my yarn was winding, which is so amazing because in the past, I think you've seen here on the channel, it's literally taken me hours at a time to wind my yarn because for the longest time I wasn't using a yarn winder or a Swift, and I even tried winding it by hand and it would get so tangly. And so this has really resolved all of that. Now I'm going to show you what we're working with here. I do have this skein of yarn, and as you can see, it's really just coming apart. And honestly, I hate winding yarn manually, which is why I've never wound my chenille yarn, but I'm really curious to see how this goes today with the electric yarn winder. Do you like how Taylor Swift is like peeping in the background over here? I think that's so funny. But I just went ahead and plugged this in, so we're almost ready to start, but I want to show you this is how you get it going. And so here's what it looks like with no yarn on it, and you can adjust the speed, so you can have it go really slow like this, or you can really speed it up if you want to wind it a little faster. And this is really nice because it gets your yarn wound so quickly. So to get the yarn attached and ready to go, all you do is feed it through these holes. And then this thing might look funny, but it's actually really simple. All you do is you pull this back and then you put the yarn in like that, and it just holds everything in place. And then for this one, you kind of just do the same thing, just like that. And then once you have that all set up, then you just wrap this around a few times, just like that. And then you attach it to the top, just like that. And then it's pretty much ready to go. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is so amazing. It's gonna organize all my bigger yarns like Sweet Snuggles Light. These skeins are just so huge. And so this is gonna be really nice to just keep everything in tighter little cakes that don't come undone so easily. I think the best part is that I literally just get to sit here and make sure there's no knots forming or anything, and it just does this all for me. It's actually magical, and it makes like the most perfect cake ever. I can't wait to show you when it's all done. It's just so amazing. I seriously love this thing. Like, this is one of my favorite little contraptions ever. So I don't want my cake to get too much bigger, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this one off and show you. And look at how perfect that is. I just have to tuck in this little end right here, but this is such a game changer. I'm seriously so excited about this. I still have a bunch more left of this blue Sweet Snuggles Light yarn, so I'm gonna go ahead and make another cake of this, and then hopefully I'll be able to get a few more done. So it's been about 45 minutes, and I want to show you all this yarn that I was able to wind. This is actually crazy because I would not have been able to get anywhere close to this if I was using a manual yarn winder. I would probably have a fraction of this wound by hand. So this thing is seriously so amazing and such a time saver. And now I just have so much more time to crochet and do more things that I enjoy that are not winding yarn, because let's be real, I don't like winding yarn, and I don't think most people do either. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the coupon up here on the screen and link it in the description for you if you are interested in getting your own electric yarn winder. And I just want to say thank you again to Caydo for gifting this to me. I really appreciate it, and I seriously love this thing. I know that I'm going to be using this for many years to come, so I'm honestly just so excited about it. I just realized my camera was kind of crooked, so sorry about that. But on a separate note, look at how cute Remy is. I love when he sleeps right here. It's just the cutest thing to me. It makes me so happy. But speaking of cats, you might notice that I have a scratch on my face right here, and it is indeed from a cat, but it's not from Remy. And I do have some exciting news to share with you. I talked about this over on my Patreon. So Ryan and I just adopted 2 more cats. They are 2 bonded sisters. They're little calicos, and they're so cute. And basically the story behind them is we go to Petco to get our dog food and cat food and stuff all the time, and we have been seeing these cats for months and months now, and it's really kind of broken our heart that nobody has taken them. There's really really no reason for anybody to not take them other than the fact that they're not kittens and they're bonded, and so it can be harder for people to take two cats at once. And you know, we figured we're moving and we really like them, and it makes us sad they've been there for so long, that this is the perfect opportunity for us to be able to rescue some cats and give them a really good home. And we're so excited, and honestly I'm just so excited. So I'm really excited to share them with you. But like I mentioned, they are rescues, so they're a little bit more timid. They really enjoy hanging out in our bathroom. Actually, that's where we have their whole little setup right now, so they spend most of the day in there. Honestly, that's just where they're at right now. We've only had them for a week or so, but so far they're getting along with everyone really well. And you might think because I have this scratch on my face they're like mean or something, but it was honestly just an accident. She was like trying to jump out of my arms and accidentally got my face. So that's what that is, and I definitely need to show you them, so I'll go do that in a second. But yeah, I'm just really excited to be able to introduce some new cats to our family. And you might think I'm crazy, and that's valid honestly, because I'm gonna be moving across the country with 5 animals now, and it's gonna be a journey. I'll have to vlog the entire thing for you. I really don't know how it's gonna go, and my anxiety is probably gonna be crazy, but I just knew that these girls were special and I'm so excited to have them home. So it's been a long time coming of just trying to figure out if we were able to adopt them and all of that sort of stuff, but we ended up naming them Mabel and Myrtle. Before we adopted them, they actually named them Millie and Marina, but now they're Mabel and Myrtle. So we just love those names, and we thought it'd be cute to keep the M theme. So here they are. This is Mabel right here, and they're honestly kind of hard to tell apart until you see their faces. So this is Mabel, and here's Myrtle. Myrtle's got kind of the crazy eyes, so that's honestly how you can tell them apart. But Mabel loves all the pets, and she's so sweet. So this is their little base camp in this bathroom here. They seem to really like it because it's just like smaller, and they're used to that at the Petco they were at. You can see here she's just having a little snack. This is Mabel, and then there's Myrtle, and she has these really funny little eyes. They're both just so sweet, and we're so happy to have them a part of our family. There's Myrtle. I don't know if you can see her in there, but I think when they're at Petco they were pretty much nocturnal, so now they sleep like most of the day and they go crazy at night and they run around the entire house. So I'm trying to train them like how to, you know, like be awake during the day and sleep at night. So if you have any tips on that, definitely let me know, because I'm trying to figure that out. I've never really dealt with that before, but they are so sweet and we just love them so much. So I'm very excited to be able to finally share them with you. So that's Mabel and Myrtle, and I'm honestly just so obsessed with them. They have my heart, and I'm sure you're going to be seeing more of them very soon, but for now we're kind of just going at their pace and trying to get them to feel more comfortable, because it is a big change for them. I'm pretty sure they were in that Petco for like 9 months, which really just makes me sad, but I know the volunteers and everyone did the best they could, and we're just so happy to be able to give them a home and a brother. And they love Remy, and Remy loves them. Like I mentioned, at night they just go crazy. We have a little dog camera, and you can just see them running around the entire house at like 2 in the morning. So we definitely have to work on getting their sleep schedule in sync, and it's taking some time, but that's okay, and we're just excited to have them. So that's the little update, or I guess big update honestly, that I had to share with you. So I shared this on Instagram already, but I haven't had the second to talk to you about it, so I want to show you my newest pattern. I'm really excited about this one. I know I say that pretty much every time, but this time especially. I'm always excited, but I really do love this one. So these are no-sew little Yetis. I decided to name this pattern Yogi the Yeti, and so I made this pink one, and I used Premier Little Bunny for the fluffy yarn, and I really love how he looks with the fluffy yarn, but I did design it just with Parfait Chunky just because yarn is a little more accessible. So here's what he looks like just with Parfait Chunky without the fluff, so you get a better idea of kind of what he looks like, you know, underneath all the fluff. And then I also just made this one. This is kind of like a Bigfoot variation. It's the exact same pattern, but I just changed up the colors. And I'm not used to working with fluffy yarn, especially Little Bunny, so his head is definitely a little wonky, and that's my own fault just because I have such a hard time seeing the stitches, and it just gets to be really hard to keep track. So I've been struggling with that, but I'm hoping to be able to work through that a little bit more, because I really do love how these turn out with the fluffy yarn. So I think he turned out okay regardless, but one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this pattern is that this is entirely no-sew, and it took a lot of trial and error, so I'm really happy that I was able to get it to be no-sew, because I think it just makes it a little bit more enjoyable to work on, especially this time of year. I know so many of us are so busy with markets, and sometimes it's just nice to not have to do it, you know? So this entire thing is no sew, and the feet are worked onto the legs, and then everything is crocheted into the body. And I even had this idea to make these little teeth into his face, and so you can always take those off or keep them in, but I think it's really fun. And then, like I mentioned, this pattern is inspiring me to start working with fluffy yarn more, so I went to Michael's and I picked up the first fluffy yarn I could find. They didn't have a huge selection, but I went for this loops and threads, and it is way thicker than I thought it was gonna be. Like, look at this head. And I only got one skein of this yarn, and this is how much one skein made. It made of the arm and then half of the head. So obviously I had to go back because I want to finish this thing. And I got 2 more of the same color, so this should hopefully be enough. I really was not expecting this to eat up so much yarn and be so massive, but I think he's gonna be cute regardless, and I'll probably just keep him out as like a wintertime decoration because this yarn really is so soft. He almost feels like a pillow. I think he could be pretty cute to have out on my couch or something around the winter months. So here he is. This is honestly so thick, but I love his little eyes. So that's the Yeti for now, but I'm honestly getting a little bit distracted because I think I'm entering my Mabel chicken phase after what, like a year and a half or something of this pattern being out. I feel like it is one of the most commonly made amigurumi patterns, just the cute little chicken. And the reason why I want to make it is I recently went to a craft fair and I saw someone who had a bunch of Mabel chickens on their table, and I actually bought one just because I think they're so cute and I keep it in my car. But now I want to make my own, and there's actually someone that I follow over on Instagram. Their handle is @BerryTinyDesigns, and they make really tiny little Mabel chickens with velvet yarn, and they're just so cute and small. And so I'm thinking that I want to try doing that today. I think that just sounds like so much fun to me, so I honestly think I'm gonna do that and just chill out. And you know me, I'm probably gonna be playing Sims as well. The new Sims 4 expansion pack just came out today. It's Halloween and it's all like funeral themed and Grim Reaper themed, so that might just have to be something that I do today. We'll see. I can't believe I made my first ever Mabel chicken. I think it's so cute. I'm pretty sure I put the eyes up a little bit too high, but these are so fun and so quick. I can totally see why people make these for markets. I used Sweet Snuggles Light for this, so I think this is like the cream shade and then the mustard shade, and I just think it's so cute. But like I mentioned earlier, I really wanted to make a super tiny one, so I think I'm gonna do that next. And I'm thinking that I'm gonna use this light purple velvet yarn, and then I also have this dark purple one for the comb, and then I have this juicy velvet yarn in orange. So I think I'm gonna do that next, and then after that I'll probably start working on my Yeti again. But that fluffy yarn is just so thick and it hurts my hands so much, so I'm trying to give them a break from that for a little bit longer. You guys, this one is so tiny. Look at the tiny chicken. I used velvet yarn in a 3.25mm hook, and this is so small. You can tell in comparison to my hand like just how tiny it is, but it is so cute. I want to make more of these in other colors, and I feel like these would be super fun to turn into keychains. I would love to make some inspired by Stardew Valley, like the blue chicken and the black chicken. I think it's the void chicken. Those would be so fun. I'm so glad that now I can say I finally made a Mabel chicken. So there she is. And then my other one, for size comparison, Sweet Snuggles Light and what did I say? The velvet yarn? Yeah. It's so much smaller. They're both so cute though. I love them. Oh man, you guys, this week has just been so crazy, especially the past 24 hours. So Ryan and I have really been looking at houses a lot more seriously this week, and we're just about ready to start putting in offers on homes. And there's one that we just kind of fell in love with. We're doing our best to not get like emotionally attached to things, but we decided to put in an offer on it, and I feel like it's a little bit more competitive, like this neighborhood that we really like, and this house, it's like beautiful and whatever, we like the neighborhood. It's been really stressful. I've never done this before, and just knowing that it is in Illinois, I'm in California, and we have to move out there, I'm doing my best to try to like center myself and just relax, and whatever happens happens. But it is really tricky, like just the thought of how expensive a house is and all of that. I mean, I know it'll all be fine and it'll all work out, but it's just a stressful thing. But at the same time, it's a good stress. I know that it's going to be so nice to have our own home and just a backyard for her dogs and all of that. that. So I'm really excited, but also really nervous. And it's funny because the part that I'm really the most nervous for is driving there, which sounds so funny, but it's really just, I get so nervous about if I'm just gonna have really bad anxiety the whole time. I know I'm gonna be fine. I'm just getting in my head. But anyways, before I keep rambling, that's the update on that. Keep us in your thoughts. By the time this video comes out, we likely will have an answer as to whether we got the house or not, but obviously we're not putting all our eggs in one basket. It's just the first one we put an offer in on, so who knows, it might take a couple times. We're just gonna have to see. But yeah, it is very crazy to be moving back to Illinois. I'm very excited. So that's kind of the tea on that, and I'll of course keep you updated. I can't wait to make all the moving vlogs and get to show you the house that we end up buying. It's really just going to be a really fun new era for us, and of course I'm just feeling so grateful that I have the opportunity to do this. It is such a privilege to be able to own your home, and I really am not taking that lightly. It's very scary, but it's just going to be so cool to be able to paint the walls if I want to, and be able to rip out the carpet if I want to, and all that stuff. I'm getting ahead of myself, but we are staying in the present. And on that note, I have to show you the new Yeti that I made. I believe I already showed you this yarn that I got at Michael's, and it is so incredibly thick. One of my crochet friends actually told me that this loops and threads fur yarn, it comes in 3 pieces, so you can split it into 3s, and it works perfectly with a 5mm hook. So I am regretting not doing that. I'm actually going to show you what I mean really quick. So this is the yarn that I used from Michael's, and if you look at the end of the strand, it just breaks right apart. See, like that. And I am so bummed I didn't realize, but so grateful that she taught me. So see, you can use these and you get basically like triple the amount of yarn for this skein, because it is a little pricey. I want to say these are like $10. So this plushie has actually been like one of the pricier ones that I've made, because I used 3 skeins of yarn to make the massive one. And I really do love the way he turned out. I decided to not include the teeth on this Yeti since his face is white. I thought it might look kind of funny, like the white on white, but he is so huge, and he almost is like a little weighted baby, and he's so cozy to hold. This yarn is just so soft, so I'm really happy with how he turned out. I think he might be one of those that just has to sit on my couch, because when I'm feeling anxious or stressed, it really is just so nice to get a hug from him. I just filled him with polyfill, but he is oddly heavy in a good way. It just kind of feels like holding a little furry baby or something. So I really do love this. I'm super happy that I made this. So that's the main thing that I've been up to. But I did also get something really exciting in the mail, so I have to show that to you. If you like crocheting plushies, you've probably seen this before, but this thing is seriously amazing. This is the eye snapper tool from Craft Easy Tools, and I love this thing. I've only had it for about 24 hours, but I have been waiting for this to come in the mail. I keep on tracking it and seeing when it's gonna come, because I might have mentioned this before, but I have a really hard time getting the bigger like 3D safety eyes in, those hand painted ones. And so a lot of times I'm crocheting while Ryan's at work, and I literally have to stop and wait for him to come home from work to keep crocheting, because I need his help getting them in. Like, it doesn't matter if I am using all my body weight against the counter trying to get them in. I just can't do it sometimes. So having this is going to be such a lifesaver, honestly. I know it sounds silly, but this thing is seriously so amazing. It has a little silicone piece right here so it doesn't scratch the eye, and then the backing goes here and you just clamp it down, and it is so nice and really well made. It also comes with a few extra pieces too if you're using smaller safety eyes, but I think for my purpose this is going to be great. And then I also got the blue one, or I think it's technically teal, but they have a light pink one, and I think they also have a few other colors. So very excited about this. This is a very cool product. I highly recommend it. I will link the shop in the description. I don't have an affiliate link with them or anything, but they're also a small business that is just starting out, so we'd love to support small businesses here. So I highly recommend this. So another thing that I've been doing behind the scenes the past few days is trying to get ahead on some of my pattern designs. So I'm actually working on 2 different crochet patterns right now, just because with our move, I'm not sure, you know, how things are gonna go with that. Like, I wanna make sure I have my monthly pattern like ready to go, just in case I don't have a ton of time to be thinking about it with everything going on. So I don't have those ready to show you right now because they're in a state of disarray all across my house, but I'm very excited about some of our upcoming patterns. I'm sure I'll have more to share soon, but one thing at a time. We have to get Yogi the Yeti released first. I think that pattern should be out about 5 or so days after this video comes out, so that will be very soon. And I'm really just excited about the Yeti because I feel like he is wintry themed, but he's not like strictly Christmas, you know? My goal this year with my winter patterns is to make them more wintry, but you can make them any time of year. So I'm very excited to be sharing those with you very soon. I think that's pretty much everything that I have for now. I'm trying to be really intentional today about just taking some time to relax and give myself a second to breathe, just because all this house stuff is so stressful. I knew it would be stressful, but it's a lot for sure. So what I plan on doing the rest of today is working on those future pattern designs. And I also saw one of these on Instagram. It's that dinosaur pattern from Blue Phone Studios. I feel like it's like one of the most iconic little T-Rex patterns. It's like the chubby dino. I can link it in the description, but I really want to make one with this velvet yarn because I have so much of it and I just think these colors would look really nice. So I might try to do that today, just chill out, watch the show, and maybe play The Sims because what else would I be doing? And I think that's pretty much it. So I will make sure to keep you updated on all of this stuff, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching and being here. It really means the world to me. I'm so excited for all the fun life changes that I have coming up that I'm gonna get to share with you. I know it's gonna be so fun, maybe a little stressful, but it will all be worth it in the end. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week and I will see you in the next one. Bye!